It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. How is everyone doing this beautiful Monday morning? Hope that you guys are well. Some breaking news this morning. We're still trying to get a few leads on some stories for you guys, but not to worry. We are working on it. So, a couple incidents, including one this morning that is freshly happening in the Prospect area. So we don't have a lot of details except to say there's some sort of vehicular fire happening down, it looks like Prospect Drive. So we are keeping a very close eye on that situation for you with a view to hopefully providing some updates as and when they become available. So as you guys know, sometimes it's unfortunate something is happening and we simply don't have a whole lot of information. So we will obviously post what we do know. And as soon as we find out more, then of course, we will provide the relevant updates. Like I always say, sometimes it's just a good idea to let you guys know that something is going on. So at the very minimum, you can just stay out of the area because sometimes that's what you got to do. Something's happening. You can, choose a different route in the morning, avoid the area, and just give the authorities ample time to get in there and carry out their safety checks and whatever investigations may be required. I'm hoping it's nothing too serious because, unfortunately now we live in an era where we can't say, oh, it's just a car fire. My goodness. Yeah, we're not even going to think about the alternative because it's just so incredibly negative. But from experience, we know that sometimes these things are not as simple as just an accidental fire. Sometimes they're set on purpose, and sometimes there's a bit more nefarious reasons behind what is happening. So we'll keep you guys updated, like I said, as soon as we have further details. All right. So did everyone have a good weekend? I hope you guys did. We're here in the studio this morning. We do have some guests that are going to be joining us at about 8:00 in relation to football. Yes, our national team took a licking this weekend, and they're going to talk to us about it. And so we're going to see exactly what is going on there. These things happen, and there are people who, of course, have criticisms to make, and I've invited them on, and they're happy to address those head on. Yeah. So they're supposed to be coming on for about 8:00 or so. So as soon as they're in the studio, I will certainly advise you all of that. Let me just see here now. Just getting all the links and so forth ready for you guys as well. So kids, I think a lot of kids are back to school today. Some private schools still have the day off, so they're doing teacher training session today. I think government did theirs before they went on break, like the Thursday before Good Friday. So they got out a little bit earlier. And some of the kids don't return until tomorrow. But of course, you will no doubt, especially if you're traversing from the eastern districts, you will no doubt see a notable change in the traffic this morning. It was nice last week, though, right? Nice to see less traffic, even in the evenings. The evening run was nice and easy. Even if you were sitting in 5:00 traffic, it was like smooth sailing. 936-2626 is the telephone number. Let me just send out the links on the WhatsApp channel. If you haven't joined our WhatsApp channel, might I invite you to do so? It is the best place to get all of your news consolidated in one singular location. What does that mean? That means that everything that's happening in the community that we're posting about and that we know about, or even international news, all of the links for the shows for CMR TV, we reshare them there so that you can go back and watch them at your leisure. Oh, I heard the phone ringing, but it only rang once. Shall we call them back? Let's see. Okay. Let's call them back. Remember, if you're calling, from Flo. It is a toll-free number, so don't be shy. Give us a call. Give us a ring. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Ring, ring. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Were you trying to call us, or was that a butt dial?
Oh, yeah, Sandra, I was trying to call you, but I was pick up some cards on the beach yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I didn't have the thing and I'm driving. So I can't focus on that.
Okay. Yes, yes.
I'll
Definitely.
call you back with
No
that one.
problem. All right, my dear.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
good. Yes, we speaking of cards, we have some wallets I don't think people have contacted us about yet. So make sure if you have lost the wallet, how it normally works, and like I said, all of these things get posted in the channel, but how it normally works is that when someone has found something, they share it with us. So this weekend we had a drone that was found. We had, let me see now, hold on. I think there's still a wallet that's outstanding. Couple stolen cars. Dennis Jacobs. Does anybody know Dennis Jacobs? His wallet has been found. He is a plumber, it looks like, because Department of Planning has issued him a plumber's license. So if you know plumber, Dennis Jacobs, ask him to reach out. We have a stolen e-bike that was posted, a ferocious dog, which the RCIPS now say that is in custody. And let me see what else we had. I feel like we had some other credit cards yesterday that I may have forgotten to post, actually. There was one that came in. Hold on. This one came in, and it was actually a, what do you call it? It was actually a, yeah, there's one came in yesterday. Oh gosh, I got to try and find that message now. But it was a card, and I want to say it was, oh yes, here we go. Does anyone know Alex Prince? Alex Prince, I think this might be a business card. It says green light. Does anyone know Alex Prince? Alex Prince, your card has also been found. And I do think this may be a business card. So if anyone knows Mr. Alex Prince of Greenlight, do have him reach out to us. All right, so the morning links have gone out to everyone now. So that's fantastic. Like I said, join the WhatsApp channel. That's the way to get it. And I'm going to just quickly post this thing here now for Alex Prince so that he can, lots of people see the WhatsApp and the Instagram messages, and they'll be able to hopefully let him know. Yes. All right, so everybody else is good? Mm-hmm. Alex Prince. All right, we'll post that up here shortly. And then, fantastic. All right, so in the class this morning, we have Abby. Abby, everybody keeps asking me if you're a real person. Well, I know you're a real person, but I think they want to know if your profile is real with all of those pictures or those all AI photos. I don't know if you're willing to share. I looked at your profile actually yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday evening for the first time. And I can see why they're asking the question, because it does look AI-ish for sure. It's difficult. It's becoming more and more difficult to tell what's AI and what isn't with all of these deep fakes and stuff. But there you have it. So everybody wants to know, is Abby a real person? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's somebody. Does she look like that? No clue. Is it a she? I don't even know. Deborah Bodden's in the house this morning. Good morning, Miss Debbie. Oh, by the way, hold on. I forgot. I forgot to adjust my camera. I am standing up. Yes, hold on. Let me see how this is going to work now. We're going to have to do some real-time camera movements. Give me 1 second. So over the weekend, let me just see if I can do it by just moving the camera head instead of the whole stand. Oh, let me see. No, because then you're going to be looking up. You're not supposed to be looking up. You're supposed to be straight across. All right, give me 1 second here. I'm going to do my best to do this in real time while you guys bear with me. But over the weekend, we formulated a little group of women that we're going to be trying to hold each other accountable. We're going to be focusing on our fitness goals. The group is Fit After 50, I think is what I ended up calling it. You know, we're going to be doing a bit more in terms of the accountability. And so I was saying to them that there was a time when, for years actually, doing this show, that I used to, let's see, camera looks frozen, but I used to, I think that's not too bad actually. A little bit of headroom. All right, I think we're going to work with that for now, so as not to give you guys vertigo. So yeah, I was saying to them that, you know, for many, many years, I actually stood here and thanks, Mr. Rocio, for my little curls this morning, honey chill. I actually stood here and did my show standing. And then something happened. I can't quite remember if it was really my knee or maybe I was just getting a little bit lazy. Who knows? Sometimes you can't even remember why you did certain things, right? And then I started sitting during the show. Like literally for years, I stood throughout the show. And sometimes that meant that I was actually standing for like 3-4 hours in the morning. And then I started to sit. Well, there is a theory about a body in motion stays in motion. You know, when you were in physics, a body, not necessarily a human body, but anything in motion has a propensity to stay in motion. And so what I've realized is that by me sitting during the show, I kind of even forgot in my head that standing is an option. Isn't that wild? And so now for the last couple of years, I've actually been sitting. Of course, I did have knee surgery. And, you know, there were some reasons that logically I had an excuse. But I've decided that I'm going to stand again. So that's why you see me standing this morning. And hopefully I can just stand throughout the entire show. Now, at times you may actually see me doing a little movement. Oh man, I should have put on my Apple Watch this morning so I can get some steps in, because we're aiming to do more steps than we have been doing. Fit after 50. That's our goal, is to get fit after 50. And yes, there is good evidence that holding each other accountable, having a support system, a support group, will help you to reach your goals. So we've created a little WhatsApp group and we are going to do this. Who's with me, honey chow? And yep, I will still do some squats as well. Although technically I'm standing during the show and not sitting. Still, we can work some of those in. So good morning to Miss Debbie Damaris and we are both here. Felicia Rankin is in the house. So, and standing is a little bit different because sometimes you'll see me moving because I need to offset, redistribute like the weight and stuff like that, right? On the different knees. So if one knee starts to feel a little bit achy during the show, you'll kind of see me moving it and stuff a little bit. Wiggle it and jiggle it. Anywho, good morning to Miss Patricia Blake. Good morning to Irvelyn. Marshall is here. Good morning, Miss Sue. Miss Sue, how's the foot been? Oh man, I had a rough weekend. So Saturday night was rough with my feet. They were a bit disruptive. And so what that meant for me is that I felt very, very tired yesterday morning when I woke up. I did not get a good night's sleep at all. I'm gonna do my little face serum while I'm here. And so that was not good. So, of course, I should have taken a nap yesterday, which I didn't. And then it would have been to my advantage to also go to bed before midnight last night, 12:30, which I didn't. Remember when we had Health City on a couple weeks back and we were talking about sleep? And I did a poll in the WhatsApp channel, which was another reason I love the channel. It's nice and easy to do little community polls and stuff. And can I tell you, I was really shocked and surprised. I think the question was something like, how many of you feel like you're getting adequate sleep. And it was like, let me try to see if I can go back and find it. But something like 90% or more of us, you know, it's just crazy. But the vast majority of us, including myself, because I had to say, nope, not good sleep, are saying that we don't get good sleep. I really didn't expect it to be that bad. Let me see if I can find it again. Okay, so the poll question, this is the 17th. Do you feel that you're getting good quality sleep most nights? That was the question. And let me see now. Oh, let me see if I can go back to the question. Let me see. That was the 17th. Okay. Where's the results for this one? But anyway, the vast majority, I'm just trying to find it. The vast majority of people said no. I was like, really? I found that very, very hard to believe, which is not good because I can tell you all the research around sleep, deprivation, poor quality sleep. My goodness, no wonder we're dropping down like flies. Now that makes more sense than the COVID vaccine even. Because if you're not getting that restorative sleep, what a hot mess. Takes a toll. Over the weekend, I was actually reading something that I found very, very shocking, going back to this whole sleep thing. I'm just trying to find the poll again. Let me see if I can find it and give you guys the exact numbers. When did I say it was? March 17th? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go back in time. But there was a guy who had a stroke. And when he had the stroke, they were very, very surprised because they were like, this guy is the epitome of like health. You know, how is it that he's even having a stroke? He's like working out in the gym. He's got a really good diet. He would be considered fit, you know, all these things. So they started looking, you know, of course, when you have a stroke and you're young and relatively fit, there's lots of questions that have to be asked, right? And so they started delving into his life. And I'm going to read this to you because shocker, his habits were not as healthy as one would think. And this goes back to how everything, okay, here's the voting, here's the results. Give me 1 second and I'm going to give you the percentage on this. But it was a significant amount. There's a huge difference. And I was like, wow, are you people kidding me? All right, let me get you the results. Right, let me just download this for Alex Prince so I'm always doing multiple things at once. You guys have to forgive me. I'm the queen of trying to multitask because, you know, that's the nature of the job. So you see how quickly I forgot about Alex Prince. So let me just complete this task because that happens. Like I'm in the middle of something. That's why sometimes I tell you, if you send me a message, even if you see that I read it, don't assume that I really read it. I mean, I might have glanced at it going through messages, but just ping me again and say, hey, remember me? And that's very, very helpful because a lot of times I have literally forgotten. So like whenever I have certain social media posts coming up, I'm like, okay, let me schedule them in advance so that my brain does not have to remember, right? Let me just delete this. I don't want to post his actual card. So I've created a little image of a card, which is not a real card. So when you guys see it, don't have a panickety. Don't have a panickety about, oh my gosh, she posted his card. No, this is like an AI generated make-believe card. I should put that in the note, AI generated image. That's the other thing I have to start telling you guys because boy, some of y'all be like, oh my gosh, that looks so real. So I'll let you know if it's AI generated And also if it's AI assisted, because some images, it's like it's the real image, but it's been, some elements of it may be AI. Okay. So, yes, Alex Prince, hopefully we can locate him in terms of getting that card back to him. Okay. So yeah, so let me give you guys the digits now, the numbers on this one, because I think you're going to be surprised. I know I was surprised at the numbers here of people who are saying that they're not getting adequate sleep. Wild. Okay. Hold on one second. All right. While that is happening, let me just go back to my messages here. Oh, okay. So here's an update on the prospect situation. So it looks like it's actually not a car, but it's actually a boat explosion. Hot mess. You see, this is why I tell you we have to update you guys in real time, because sometimes we just don't know what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Let me just see here if we can get this post updated. So we'll update it for the benefit of accuracy here in just a second. So yeah, there you go. Boat explosion, possible boat explosion. So we'll just change the text. Like I said, we have to wait on this one until we get additional details. Is Facebook down this morning? What's going on with Facebook? Okay. Anybody having issues with Facebook, by the way? Strange. On two browsers, I can't get on. Oh, Lord, have mercy. At some point this week, we got to talk about crazy Trump. This guy, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he's having some cognitive decline issues, and it seems to be spiraling. And the people around him are just not willing to be honest, and that's so sad. All right, so I will, yikes. Not getting on Facebook, but we can update the Instagram one. Thank you so much. So, boat fire. All right, so, right. Okay, so we've updated that. So hopefully everybody's okay. Yeah, you can see it's by the water, so it's very possible that that vessel is actually in the water. Yeah, it looks like it's in the water. When it came through on my phone, it was a little bit difficult to see what it was actually, but it looks like it's a boat. Yikes. And you know these boats not cheap, honey child. So Lord have mercy. Okay, so here's what's going on with your sleep quality. It's really poor. Oh, our guests are here. Let me hurry up and get to them. My apologies. I didn't see them jump into the studio. So 84% of you said that you're not getting good quality sleep. And 16% said that you're getting good quality sleep. That is crazy. That is a significant amount. And I think that we all obviously need to try to figure out why that is, right? All right, we've got some guests. Mr. Alfredo, do me a favor and pull your camera down a little bit so that I'm seeing less of your ceiling. Yes, and there's light behind you. It looks like a window. Is there anything you can do in terms of closing the blinds or positioning yourself where you're not actually in front of the window? I don't know if you can flip it the other way, but this is one of the rules of online calls. Looks like his office has a lot of windows. Yeah, that's always challenging. Never have an artificial light source behind you. Not artificial, any light source, including even a window, because it kind of blows you out. We want to see you. We want to see your handsome face this morning. Okay. Shall we go ahead? We're just going to give him a quick minute and then we're going to get into it. So good morning to Aliano. Johan says, Abby, prove them all wrong. He wants to know if you're real. Aliana says, Abby is real to me. And then he says he better be careful that his real girlfriend doesn't run him over. OMG. Low key, taking a jab at someone. Behave yourself. It's too early in the morning. Abby says, don't hate me because I'm beautiful and your boyfriend likes my content. Oh my gosh. Johan says, you're speaking for all of us, my G. I'm assuming he's speaking to Aliano. He goes on to say, please ask your creator to make me super fit and extra smooth using the same program ASAP. Get in the gym, Johan, and stop eating brownies. Morning, Atlas. How are you? Plain Straight is here. Okay, let us welcome our guests into the studio. We have Mr. Alfredo Whittaker with the Cayman Islands Football Association. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm doing fine, and it's so good to see you. Good morning to your large audience also.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Alfredo, for joining us this morning. He's obviously president of the Cayman Islands Football Association. So we do have, is it the team captain that is joining us this morning as well?
Yes, Deandra Kelly would be
All
with
right.
us also.
All right. This is the national women's team. Miss
National
Deandra,
Senior Women's Team.
senior women's team. So Miss Deandra Kelly, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
Good, good, good. So thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. You know, we saw a bit of news over the weekend that the senior national team, and Ms. Alfredo, you can correct me here to make sure I've got all the technical details correct, but this was actually a CONCACAF event, qualifying event that they were playing at?
Senior World Cup qualifiers, Women World Cup qualifiers for the upcoming World Cup in Brazil.
Okay. All right. So this is a big deal for us to even, I suppose, play in these qualifier matches, and no doubt it's good practice for our women as well. But the result was kind of shocking in the sense that not only did we lose, but the loss was a significant loss. Someone said this might have been the worst loss in history for the women's team.
I think so. Yes,
Yes.
is one of the most shocking losses that we have. But there is always a but. There is many positive surroundings in especially in this team and in this loss that for us that know about football, for the program and the projects that we have, was something that I not say we was expecting to be as large as it was, but we was expecting something similar, same as other small countries in the Caribbean that unfortunately we had to face off against these powerhouse in world football. Costa
Okay.
Rica is not just an ordinary team. It is one of the most important team at CONCACAF level and also by extending the world.
Yeah, I mean, in other words, have they won any World Cups? I think, they probably do extremely well at that level.
Costa Rica has host 2 World Cups, 2 senior female, 1 senior female World Cup and 1 U20 World Cup. They rank into the top 50 countries in the world.
Wow.
They the country of 5 million people. They have professional football, and 80% of the national team of Costa Rica senior national team, the players come from very important countries where the players are playing with important teams, not ordinary teams in these countries. So for our very young national team, that is basically a U20 national team, to play against these big girls, these big grown women, was difficult and challenging in
Yeah.
every single aspect of the situation.
Right. And what that means then is that when you say they come from other countries, I want to understand how these squads are put together. So these are not just all homegrown to Costa Rica women. They might be from different neighboring countries and stuff as well, and they pool them together for their national team.
Yes, these were girls
Oh.
that was born in Costa Rica because of the
Mm-hmm.
competition and the quality that they have.
Mm-hmm.
You have countries or teams in France
Mm-hmm.
that would go on and pick them to participate in the league. You have them playing in Mexico that is had become a really big powerhouse in women's football. You have them playing in Colombia. You have them playing. Some of them play also in Italy. They play in the US. That we know
Mm-hmm.
the quality that you have in the US. They play in France. So it's not Costa Rica is not an ordinary team.
Mm. All right. Deandra, I know that you guys still have another match. I think is it on Wednesday?
It's actually
They
today.
play
It's
today.
today. Oh my goodness. But with all this sort of, controversy going on, how are you guys feeling, first of all? I know that it must be challenging to get in the right headspace, having to think about such a significant loss. Does it really impact the team when you have a loss like that, knowing that you still have another match to go on to?
Well, what I would say at this time is I'm not with the squad right now, but I'm in communications. I'm actually injured.
Okay.
And I'm gutted not to be out there fighting alongside them. However, yes, it's a very tough result, but we are aware that we are up against a very strong, experienced team like Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
And we understood that it would be a difficult match. But
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, the team fought from the beginning to the end. There's a lot of potential in this group, and us as the senior players have to support, have to set the standard, have to encourage the young players. This evening, I think I spoke to a few players. They're ready.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna back down. The last game just shows the benchmark of where we are at and where we need to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. We do have a caller on the line, so let's take that call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Auntie Sandy.
Morning,
It's
morning.
Johan.
Hi, Johan.
Morning, Presidente, and good morning, Captain. Just
Good
wanted
morning.
to call and say proud of where the women's program has come from. I've watched football my entire life. I've participated. Presidente, keep your chin up, keep doing, stay focused, and keep taking us to the next levels. To the ladies on the team and to the public, they were playing against real professionals that come from a professional background from the beginning. We're talking about fitness, nutrition, tactics, a professional mindset, coaching the whole 9 yards. So we have to accept that the Cayman Islands are minnows in the CONCACAF region, but their participation, their effort to not give up, they just played against a footballing superpower in the region. Costa Rica is no joke, and anybody that wants to belittle or make fun or whatever, I think you got your own issues. We should applaud our ladies for showing up, for pushing through, and for trying their best. It was a Ferrari racing a go-kart. That's how this thing works sometimes in football. But I just wanted to say to the Cayman national players, keep your chin up. A lot of people talk smack because they think that they should be out there or they think that they're better than you. God put you in the position to represent us. Be proud of that, because I'm proud of every single time I watch every single one of you give everything. So don't let this stop you from dreaming, from working harder and improving overall as a program and as individuals and as a player. So all the best to you guys. Take care.
Thanks, Johan. Really appreciate it. Yes, thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Johan.
that.
Appreciate it very much.
And we do have a few comments that are coming in, so we're going to read some of these comments as well. And folks, the phone lines are open 936-2626. It's always easy to sit on the outside and criticize when one doesn't really appreciate and know even what it takes to be an athlete at a senior level. And so I'm always very mindful of the comments that as someone who's never really played football a day in my life. I probably couldn't even kick a football. Let's be honest here. I'm reserved really in what I can say, because I'm like, listen, I don't know what it's like. I don't know the concert regime, the practicing, the diet, and to still go out there with women who are at a professional level. My goodness, I can only imagine the stress. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. Happy Monday to you.
Morning.
Happy Monday to the listeners and to Mr. Alfredo and his amazing team. So as an advocate for young people, I want to say to you guys, we are superbly proud of your achievement.
Mm-hmm.
You made it that far and there's more to go. So don't stop doing what you're doing, and we will stand behind you, support you, and big up to the team, to Mr. Alfredo, for all his hard work. You have come far and you have done a lot, and I do applaud you. So congratulations once again for even going up against that team. Yeah. So thank you for all that you do, and we will continue to stand behind you.
Yes. Thank you so much, my dear. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank
So
you.
we have one comment here. This person says, in my honest opinion, they shouldn't enter the World Cup qualifiers until the program is ready. But they don't get funds from FIFA, get to travel to meetings/events, or bankrolled by FIFA if they don't. So they're okay to literally embarrass the country to keep getting their perks. Alfredo, perhaps this is a question for you or a comment for you to address.
It's unfortunately that we see it that way. I appreciate the comment. But it simple don't work like that. If we don't enter competition, we wouldn't know exactly where we are, where we need to improve. We wouldn't be able to see the standard of the other team, and the girls or boys in this case wouldn't really get the opportunity to grow.
Right.
The only way to grow is participating and seeing things that you don't see in our region, and getting the opportunity to watch other players, and that would not only improve you, but it also would give you that courage for the next round to do better, and to next 2 years to go back and say, all right, 2 years I was here. Let's see where you are now. But I mean, for the people that play the sports, for the people that know what it is to participate in competitions, to fall short or to come up on top, would understand what is the meaning of participation, and what good it come for the country. I
Yes.
don't see any athlete that go out there, that have the courage to go out there and represent the country, that come on top, or they come short, or they fall. In this case, in not so good, would be embarrassment for the island. There is other thing that embarrass us a little more than being participating in sports.
For sure.
Participation in sports is never embarrassment.
Yep. Sorry, Deandra, what do you say to people who make that comment that don't play until you're ready? I mean, I was just thinking about that. Like I said, I'm nowhere near, a professional athlete or anything like that. But even when I, throw around on the pickleball court, the best way for me to improve my game is to play other people. and when other people are better than me, it's like, oh wow, okay, so I could have gotten that shot had I done this or had I done that. Like, you don't get better if you don't play people who will challenge you.
That is true. It's a learning experience, and it is through these moments that we're able to grow. If we're not out there with better quality teams, then we will be stagnant. And that is not the point of the program. We all want to improve in every area of our game. And to be fair, we're not gonna improve if we're just limited to one level. And that is the case. This is a part of our journey, and There's so many lessons to take from this experience. I think we are able to learn much more than if we played an easier team. And that's just the case. You don't really grow
Yeah.
from playing easy teams.
Yep. This person said, I applaud our footballers. Our kids go to work and then to training. These overseas kids just practice football while they study. They should just be doing football. And we see someone else, Tico, says, how are you going to improve if you have a 9-to-5 job? So let's talk about this, because we often hear this criticism, not just of the women's team, but, just of professionals in the sporting arena. Where people say, listen, there's some countries where they eat, sleep, and everything, their sports. And so here in the Cayman Islands, we don't have the luxury of having that type of financial backing or financial support where it can be a full-time commitment. What are your thoughts, Deandra, on that? That most of you have a 9-to-5 job, you have demanding lives, and then you still have to get out there and compete on the football field.
Well, first and foremost, it's an honor to be able to represent our country. Most people in this world do not have that opportunity. So we know it will take sacrifice, it'll take determination, it'll take discipline. So yes, we have to work our ordinary lives. People are in school and people are working. But the time that we do put in to being better, collectively and individually, we just have to take that serious. We have to be realistic about our developing nation. Mr. Alfredo said earlier, Costa Rica's population is 5.3 million people. We have 80,000 people, just over 80,000 people. And remember, our pool is not even that. We have almost 40,000 Caymanians to choose from, or not to choose from, but that's just the reality of our population. Like I said, it's just this about discipline, it's about heart, and it's about passion and taking that into every moment. Training, when we go and play practice matches, when we go and play friendlies overseas, and when we get to the real games.
Yeah. All right. Tito has a few other comments here. Says, all talk. We have too much talk, but no action. New association, too much politics, and also goes on to say the coaches need to go, all of them. And so how can you compete with other countries then? Don't play, just work a 9-to-5. Alfredo, what do you say to people who tell your athletes don't play, just work a regular job? I mean, it's interesting that Deandra just mentioned that you can only choose for the national teams, I guess, and this would make sense, Caymanians, right? So that narrows down the pool. Although we might have a population of 75,000 people, not all of those individuals are even eligible to make up the national team because they have to be Caymanians, right?
Right. We in life, in our life, sports is very important. Some of us that had the opportunity to play professional football know that is not only that span that could be 10 years, could be 12 years. Some athletes are really fortunate to have a longer career of 16 or 17 years. But after that, what? What is next? Right? So for us, education is key to success. Out of, 2,000 athletes that we have a total of maybe 300 that is part of our national team program. We're talking from the U14s up to seniors. And what would happen with the other players? What can happen when they finish their football career? We don't have professional teams in Cayman. that have a background of professional coaches. We have a lot of dedicated coaches that do their best to keep players active, to keep young players out of trouble, we could say, and to keep them involved in sports. We as association, our responsibility is to give all of those talented athletes the opportunity to represent our country at international level by having all of these national team active and participating. So our national team from the young age of 14, they have the opportunity to participate in international competitions. They repeat at 15, they repeat at 17, they repeat at 20s, and then seniors. So
Right.
is much more to just playing football or any other athlete, right? And then the other part of the life, what should the Cayman Islands Football Association do? Just disengage? No, it's not like that. We have the responsibility, we have the opportunity for those that have quality that the scouts and so would look into to take them to a team to support them in one way or the other way. And if we get rid of like what the person Tico, I think it was, if we get rid of our coaches, our Caymanian coaches, who going to give them the opportunity to coach, to learn, and to represent the country?
All right, we've got a few callers on the line. Caller 1823, you're up first. Good morning.
Morning, Sandra. This is Klein Glidden.
Morning there. Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. So, as someone who has been involved in football basically all my life, still president of the oldest football team, Solid International, I just want to call in and offer my support to the ladies team, give them encouragement, and also for President Alfredo. I think, Sandra, I've been listening to some of the comments someone called and told me that Alfredo and the ladies representative was on. I think it's important for us to manage our expectations a bit better. I think that the expectations when we're talking about not playing until we reach until we're ready, I think it's a bit unfair and unreasonable because as was mentioned, there's a small pool of players. We're talking about a team sport. And so we need 20 players to basically mature, develop, and peak at the same time to have a good result. And we're a small pool of people, right? So when we're talking about a pool of 40,000 people, and then we need just girls that are playing football, and just girls that are within the age group, and they have to be Caymanian, right? To expect that you're going to compete from a pool of 5 million people, I think it's an unreasonable expectation. And so the idea to say, well, we can wait until all of the girls that are playing or all of the guys that are playing peak at the same time so we can peak and get a team of 20 of our top players at one time isn't a realistic expectation, right? So we have players that are going to peak at different times, and so you'll look on the field and you'll see an exceptional player within an age group. By the time other players get to that stage, that player has moved on and they're not competing with possible in football anymore. So,
Right.
so the expectation to say that we're going to wait till we get a team now, Cayman does very well in the individual sports because that individual peaks and they can perform at a top level in individual sports. But when we're talking about a team sport and we're expecting to compete at the world stage, I think that's unfair. And I think we just need to manage and talk about the improvements we made, talk about opportunities we've gotten, talk about the strength and commitment of our young people, especially our ladies that have come out and played and represented their country, and not focus on the fact that we may have lost or had a significant loss and try to blame that on anything except the fact that we're a small country. You know, it's like the David and Goliath situation. We need to encourage, support, and continue to promote our young people and expose them as much as possible, because that one individual player might be in a team that got beat, whatever. But if they get noticed and they get seen and they get a scholarship or they get a contract, then that was the time and the opportunity. And to suggest that we're going to miss that opportunity because we're afraid to go to what someone mentioned, getting embarrassed. Again, having been involved in the sport, played at all the different levels, participated, I just think it's unfortunate. I think as a country, we need to do better in terms of managing our expectations and criticizing versus giving the support that is needed for the programs.
Can I just ask you a question? Because that person said that they wanted to just sort of qualify what they were saying, that they specifically said World Cup qualifiers. So they're not necessarily saying don't go out there and play. But Mr. Alfredo and maybe even Klein, you can contribute to this. If we are, I'm assuming we get funding from FIFA, and if we don't participate in the World Cup qualifiers, does that funding then become jeopardized in some way?
No, not
Okay.
really. Not really. And good morning, Klein, and thank you for your words. Not really. World Cup qualifiers come every 2 years. The World Cup is played every 4 years. So for some of these girls, they would only have the opportunity to participate in maybe 3 World Cup qualifiers. Right? So this is a lifetime opportunity. Right? So actually by playing, they already participated in the World Cup, because what you're going to have is the World Cup finals. So this group of players, they actually participated in the upcoming World Cup. So now what you're going to play is the World Cup finals. So
I see.
that is something that just a few players would have the opportunity to talk about and to share experience.
So Sandra, it's very similar. We have had great players, and I know you mentioned you haven't played football, but you played other sports, and so players, like you said, players develop, and you made the comparison with pickleball. Again, an individual sport, you get better by playing against better competition, right? And that exposure, we need to aspire and allow young ladies to be motivated and inspired to play at the highest level, right? So again, if we see it as the experience and the development for them, then it's a good thing. If we see it as an embarrassment because they've gone out and competed against top teams and they've lost significantly, then when is going to be the right time? When we have a team we think can win the World Cup? When is going to be? We've had players along the way. I can remember the famous Cayman game against Jamaica. We've been playing against Jamaica for years upon years upon years. Losing, getting beat significantly, and Cayman played against Jamaica with a peak squad at that time. You can go through and look in the history books and see the names of the players all coming together at the right time and having a great result. But all the other times that they played and gotten beaten, I can remember going to the US with the national team and getting beaten 12-0. Some of those same players are playing at the time. So to turn around and say, well, we shouldn't play in this tournament or we shouldn't play in that tournament, and take away the opportunity from the girls that are peaking at that time to play and get their own opportunity. I could never agree that, we should wait for some magical moment when we think. Of course, we have to continue preparing. We have to continue aspiring. We have to continue developing our players, developing our programs. And more importantly, the country needs to continue to support football as a national program and giving the support for the dedication, time, energy for the kids that are coming out and their parents that are putting everything behind them, taking them to practice on a regular basis, and still continue to dream for that hope that one day they're going to make it at the world level and making it to the stage of being able to represent your country. As the young lady said, that's the greatest honor. You're there being able to represent your country. The fact that you got beat, you wore that national team, that national shirt with pride. You went out and heard your national anthem and you represented your country. And the results in sports, we look at it, and of course, we would all like to win, but actually at the end of the day, participation is going to be an important part. Those young people are going to get something from that experience that is going to make them better, we hope. And that's where we have to look at the contributions that us as a country can make to help them on their path.
Well, thank you so much for that. And I must tell you, Klein, that you certainly gave me food for thought because, as you said, a team sport is very, very different than an individual sport. So even someone was saying, Carifta results, we did wonderful in the medals. We had swimmers, runners, and so forth. But those are all, for the most part, I mean, they might have relay racing, but for the most part, those are individual sports. So you can have individuals who are doing extremely well. They're excelling at that particular event, but it becomes much more difficult. How many are on a squad, Alfredo? How many people play in a match?
11, and you have a total of 22 players. And out of 22, you have 11, and you're allowed 5 substitutions.
Right. So so it's a very different situation to say get all 11 individuals to be playing optimally at a given moment against another team who they're also all trying to play optimally. So that's definitely some really salient points, Klein. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day. Congrats
Thanks
again, team. Thanks again, Sam.
All right. We have another call in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning.
Morning.
Unlike Klein, I don't have any experience in football at all. But the comments that I've heard expressed about the sport, all of those principles apply to my sport, which is the shooting sports. And in the shooting sports, you have individuals and team events as well. But I think that those who are making those negative comments about not competing against a superior team, it sounds to me like they don't understand the benefits of that. I'll give you an example. There was this shooter who I think he had gone like over 7,000 rounds for the year and had not missed one single target. Now, I would never get the opportunity to compete officially with someone at that level. But I did get to shoot with him in a friendly game. And there's just having the opportunity to look at what he did, when he did it, and then afterwards getting to understand why he did it, changed my game completely. I went from shooting like about an 80% to when I competed in my first official shoot in San Antonio. My first event was, I think I shot like a 98%. So if you go from 80 to 98%, that's a massive difference just by being able to observe and learn from someone that's just leaps and bounds ahead of you. My second event was a perfect score. And so the point that I'm trying to make is that this idea that somehow you just wait until you get good. You don't just get good. You work really hard to get good. But the flip side of what's also being said is that if we were to listen to people who say that you shouldn't compete with a superior team until you're at their level, what that'll do is it'll cause people to learn to give up. And I think what is really important lesson in any event that you shoot, that you participate in, is that even if you are not the winner and you endeavor to do your best throughout the event and learn from it, then you learn not to give up when times are difficult. And that has application in many other aspects of your life. And so I'd like to say congratulations to the girls for trying their best. And I hope that they continue to improve. And like Klein says, maybe one or two of them down the road may get an opportunity that is once in a lifetime. And so I congratulate, and I would like to encourage them. Don't be discouraged by the negative remarks. I mean, I'm not familiar with the politics of football, so I don't know if there are issues that need to be addressed. But just on the game level, don't let those remarks get you down. Hold your head high, work hard, and do your best that you can.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. All right. Over 400 people on the live stream alone. Of course, we've got radio listeners tuned in as well. Perla says, so proud of you, Tio Alfredo, and the Cayman Islands national team. Keep shining and keep waving our flag high. plain and straight says, thanks, Klein. We should be proud of our ladies who have the courage to step out on the world stage and compete against a team like Costa Rica, which is filled with professionals. Now, we have this comment here from Jordan. I had to fact check this because I always hear people saying this, and I'm curious. Again, I'm not obviously, really that deep in the world of football, but Jordan says every other national team player in the world gets paid to play football. They don't play football and then go work a job. So Jordan, I had to fact check that because, we fact check stuff on Cold Hard Truth. And apparently your statement is actually not correct. So listen to this. I've got my AI assistant here, Samantha is what I've named her, Sam. And it says that statement is actually not accurate. Many national team footballers around the world are not full-time professionals and do in fact have regular jobs alongside playing for their country. What actually happens is in that smaller or less wealthy football nations, many men and women national team players are semi-professionals or amateurs and hold other jobs, teaching, police officers, office work, whatever, while playing for their national teams, mainly for match fees and small stipends rather than full professional salaries. Even within FIFA recognized competition, there are national teams drawn largely from domestic amateur leagues, for example, the Caribbean. Of course, they had to mention the Caribbean, the Pacific, and other lower ranked European nations where players are not paid enough for football alone to avoid regular employment. There are also numerous cases reported in international media of women's national team players working second jobs such as waitressing, coaching youth, and office work because their national team and club pay is insufficient to live on. So the accurate claim would be something like this. In top football nations, most national team players are full-time professionals, but in smaller or less wealthy countries, national team players still have regular jobs in addition to playing football. So there you go. And they actually mentioned specifically our region being one of those that would not be able to sustain full-time playing. So there you have it, Jordan. He goes on to say significant sum of money needs to be put aside for national team players, support and facilities so that they can focus on their profession, whether it's football, basketball, running, swimming, and so on. So, Alfredo, let's talk about CIFA for a second here, because some of our listeners may not be aware that on a weekly basis, CIFA actually produces a show on CMR TV where you talk about some of the programs that you have. You talk about what's happening in the world of football, and that includes some of the upcoming facilities improvements. So tell us a little bit, because again, they may be missing out. This airs every single week and it does get thousands of views and it's quite a well produced show, but maybe there's still some of our listeners who are missing out on this. Tell us what about your funding? Where does your funding come from? And then how do you spend it? And, I know previous to your presidency, there was a lot of concerns about how the money was being handled, how players are being handled. How do you try to, pun intended, even the playing field so that, our players from different age groups and so on, they're getting as much exposure as possible and you're improving the facilities that they have available to them?
Let me try to break it down real quick because it would take us like a week to to showcase what has been done. Let's go by
and
parts.
That's why let me just say that's why I want to encourage people. I'm not just mentioning this as an aside, but this football show that airs every single week that's produced by CIFA is a good opportunity to actually see what it is that they're doing, because, 1 week might focus on, a kids program. 1 week might look at what facility improvements are coming in the next 6 months to a year. My apologies. So it's a good opportunity. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. But it's definitely a good opportunity for people to get more details on what CIFA is doing.
Yes, that would be great. 90%, or I would say, 90% of our funding come from FIFA and CONCACAF. To have access to those funding, you have to have a numerous programs put together and obviously, um, they report into FIFA and CONCACAF, and then they would constantly verify that what is being reported is being done. It sometimes is by visit, and most of the time is by the auditors. Uh, the funding, the issue that we had with funding or where the money goes in the past, we don't have it anymore because of system that is being implemented. So now you could go to the Cayman Island website and you would see a full breakdown of FIFA finance that is being posted online. So we don't have anything to hide or anyone to that have any question to see it there. And if they need any additional information, we'd be happy to provide it too. Now we finance is being managed by that is FinCor that have no association or no relationship with nobody at CIFA or any one of the clubs. Is an independent financial company that is being hired to provide FIFA finance to make it a little bit clear and to avoid any questions or any doubts. And they work in conjunction with the auditors from CONCACAF and from FIFA. When it comes to projects, things that we never had in the past, I think we had it now. We have the clubs that get financial assistance. They also get equipment assistance, such as uniforms and footballs and so forth. The teams that in the past didn't have enough resource to travel to Cayman Brac to participate in the youth competition and senior competition. Now the Cayman Island Football Association is the one that is responsible for buying the airline tickets for the teams to go to Cayman Brac to participate and to return to Grand Cayman. By extension, we have all of our national team programs fully active with the coaching staff from the U14 boys and girls all the way up to seniors. Very important. The the same the same system that we have in place, stipend and the the daily allowance that the players have, the boys and girls have exactly the same. There is no disbalance when it comes to that. Um, at the moment, we are finalizing the two additional football fields that would have a very high quality turf. The existing field that we have here, also the turf will be changed and get a better quality. And hopefully in the near future, we will finish the full project that it consists of mini stadium, property for the Cayman Islands Football Association. That would be, I don't know, something between 1,200, 1,400 seating capacity, fully equipped with dressing rooms, with gym, with laundry, with absolutely everything. Small facility, but with high quality standards. So that's basically where the money is going. And our national team do participate in absolutely every single competition possible. If you send me to play to the moon and I have the funds, the national team will participate because I believe in participation. I believe that every single national team player should have the opportunity to represent the country. It's a proud moment to stand anywhere in the world and to listen to your national anthem is a different feelings, and we should give them that opportunity. For the past 4 years, I had discussed with my executive committee the need for our national teams to explore moving out of our region, out of the Caribbean. So we've been taking the boys and the ladies to Portugal for training camp and to get the opportunity to play 2 3 friendly matches. That had worked very well for them. The boys is getting ready to play a couple of friendly matches in Gibraltar coming out just before the World Cup. So that is basically where the money is going. And that is what has been done. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot of other positive things that is being done in football. Always focusing in our athletes and the welfare of them. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that brief synopsis. And of course, people can get involved in your programs, right? So if they're interested in reaching out, they can certainly do that. Tell us a little bit more about how they can do that.
Well, we have a large level of opportunities. Fortunately and unfortunately for us, the Caymanians that we had opened up, bring them in and to work in our office. Now they get better opportunities. One of them are working with a big firm as Appleby, and others had moved on to better government jobs, and we are happy. We're happy about that, right? When it comes
Oh, it looks like you're having a little bit of sounds like tech issues. There we go.
There we go. We have a large group of especially youth activities. This association has focused on the development of youth. That is our future, and we have a lot of national team programs. Unfortunately, not too many people want to volunteer their time. That, by the way, is not volunteer. We always find a way to give them a stipend at the end of the month for the time. So it would be good sometimes that before we make some negative comment that would not impact the association. This is a solid association with clear views and very strong and very clear and very neat. This executive committee, but at some time that would only hurt the players. But we had work in that also. So it's very difficult to break down any one of our players. So it would be good if we could approach me and ask questions. Don't be afraid. And if you have any doubts, I'm pretty sure that we could clarify whatever doubts you have. Don't join the little group that for some reason always trying to make things look bad. Small little group. Join the bigger group. That's the winning group.
All right. Thank you so much. I think it's Jaye. I don't know what that name is supposed to be, but the schedule shows that the game is tomorrow and I'm planning to watch. Can we confirm in the meantime, why aren't we speaking with the captain while she's currently with the team? So first of all, she's not with the team. So you got to be paying attention from the onset of the show. She's actually here because she is injured. So she's in contact with the team, but she's actually not with the team. So let's move forward. I mean, obviously this was a tough loss. And one thing before we move forward, Alfredo, there were some people who were kind of critical of the makeup of the women's team, saying that they all come from elite, which I guess is one of the football clubs. Can you tell us a little bit? It's hard to see on this screen, this document, but this is a start list for the qualifiers for Costa Rica versus Cayman. And this actually has the name, I guess, of the players and which of the clubs they're from. Can you confirm based on this here if they're all coming from elite? And is there any club that is getting preferential treatment that you're aware of?
That is absolutely incorrect. Our senior women national team the starting goalkeeper, Naomi Wilson, she come from Academy. Tisha Clark come from Sunset. Haley Solomon come from Academy. Kaden Coles come from Sunset. Reese Betterson come from Sunset. Brittany Evans come from Academy. Jada Dixon come from Sunset. Chelsea Brown come from Academy. Courtney Hicks come from Elite. Daniela Gerson come from Sunset. And Tamoy Phillips come from Scholars. Right? So that statement that was made to you is incorrect. And the substitute was Miss Maylis that come from Sunset, Alicia Williams from Elite, Cosabella Windsor come from Sunset, Leah Dos Santos come from Academy, Olivia Ridley come from Elite, Nalani Swan come from the University of Leeds, Tiana Jan come from Elite, and Clara De Quintal come from Sunset. Right? And then on the other side, it's important to mention that 60% of these young ladies are under 20 years old. Right? And then on the Costa Rican side, you have Bermudez that come from Alajuela, Guillén from Alajuela, Benavides from Millonarios in Colombia, Del Campo that come from Monterrey in Mexico, Melissa Herrera that come from the Olympique of Marseille in France, Villalobos from Saprissa, Raquel Rodriguez from Kansas City, Pinel from Alajuela, Priscila Chinchilla from Atletico de Madrid in Spain, Fabiola Villalobos from Alajuela, and Shika Scott that come from Paris FC in France. So that's the difference that we had, just to clarify that and to keep that. So the statement that was made is absolutely incorrect.
Okay. Someone wants to know, Deandra, if you guys go back and do you watch the matches afterwards to see, sort of a post-performance review and what you could do differently, sort of how that works?
Of course, we rewatch our matches, practice matches as well. So it's not just the official matches that we rewatch. We know we have to be better. We know the areas we need to improve, and we are all on one page when we come together as a group and do our video sessions, and we have our coaches highlighting the areas that we need to improve on, and that's where our focus is.
All right, Paul is in the house joining us from Bermuda. Good morning. He says, good morning, Auntie Sandra. Bermuda and Cayman were placed in a high caliber group. Bermuda lost 19-0 to the USA. Their national team programs are well funded and have large populations to pick players from. So again, going back to the point that we're not really in such a unique position. We form part of the small nations, especially in the Caribbean, who probably have very similar struggles, Cayman, Bermuda, even Jamaica, although Jamaica has a much larger population than the Cayman Islands and Bermuda. So something to think about. Oops. Give me 1 second here. My apologies. Right. So this commenter, this is Klein Glidden commenting again, says, Sandra, I didn't want to call again, but a point to discuss might be the disparity in the world of sports between male and female athletes. I understand as it's driven by TV viewership, it's still a challenge to motivate and support women. That the fact that Cayman has continued to develop women in sport is a big achievement, which shouldn't be overlooked. That hasn't always been the case. Not saying that we don't have to continue to strive to improve the disparity, but let's give credit for improvements made so far. This isn't a Cayman-specific challenge, but a worldwide basis. And we see that all the time, even with the WNBA. Those players get far less than their male counterparts. And I think it's fair to say in every single sport, there is a disparity between what the male players get and what the female players get at the international and, regional and even local stage. So Keith says professional football players need to be in the classrooms in the morning and practicing on the field at night. What are national team players being paid to play as professionals and also train as professionals stop taking advantage of these young people. So can we get an idea of, I mean, I don't know if you can say this or not, but what are they paid, Alfredo?
No, well, the girls, we give them a stipend per training, and then when they travel, they get $100 daily allowance. So they wouldn't have no issues in losing money from the job. When the girls travel, they don't have to touch absolutely $1 for anything, because they make sure that if we have to overnight, that everything is covered, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Once they arrive to the venue, everything is in place for them. If they need a waiver or visa or whatever, the Cayman Islands Football Association also take that responsibility and pay for that. So we want to make sure that whatever you receive from us is completely untouchable, and that
Mm-hmm.
is your money and your money only.
Mm-hmm.
Some years, because of the number of competitions, the players make X amount of dollars. Also, we have a prize money set in place for whenever they participate in these World Cup qualifiers, and for for a win, X amount of dollars; for a draw, X amount of dollars. And sometimes we simply see the effort of the players, and we
Al-
recognize the players with a stipend.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Alfredo, the meals in transit, and also there's no expense whatsoever to the
Mm-hmm.
players.
Mm-hmm. Now, Alfredo, we have to be honest with you, as we always are here in this program. So, one name that keeps popping up, and I don't know who this individual is, but there are people who, I have two people in the comment section who've mentioned her name, Martha Godet. Um,
Cadets.
Godet. And they have said that she only wants her club to be part of the national team. So I'm guessing she heads up one of these clubs, and that some of the coaches that are brought in don't stay because they try to stand up to her. And she always wants her daughter and an elite club playing. So, how do you handle complaints of this nature, where several people are saying that, maybe the head of a particular football club is part of the problem? I mean, do you control, what control do you have over the clubs? And are you able to rein in or address any complaints that come in at the club level?
Well, let me see how I could put this in a nice way. When you have a solid base of national team coaches that we
Mm-hmm.
meet on a weekly basis, senior and women national team, that we could
Mm-hmm.
sit down and we could address issues and make decisions, that we could sit down and discuss whatever decisions we're going to make and bring to the executive committee for approval or disapproval. And then a decision is made after meeting with the executive committee, that, by the way, all of these minutes are signed, and we have everything in black and white. When you have executive committee that is formed by two members of scholars, one
Mm-hmm.
member of Roma, two independent members, and one
Mm-hmm.
member from Prospect. Um, Let me see. Hope I don't miss nobody else. And a decision is made. I think that all of what is being said
Mm-hmm.
definitely have no strength, to use a nice word. Um, as mentioned to you by the lineup that was given, at no point her daughter, um, Nisa Godet, appears in the lineup,
Mm-hmm.
or in the substitute list. Um, you don't have five players from elite, right? So The comments simple don't have. In the past, we had get rid of coaches because it was damaging to the national team program. They came with an agenda. They came with an agenda, and we didn't make the mistake to give them a 1 year or 2 year contract. And what we wanted and what we discussed, that was the inclusion of our young players to be part of the senior woman national team program. All of that was falling apart. A part of that, of a number of things that by respect, I don't want to mention, and I would never mention, but I mentioned to him, that was not only brought to my attention, but I did my investigation like the Cold Hard Truth does, and we came up with exactly what was taking place. And that's the reason why this gentleman didn't lose much in the Cayman Islands. And by the way, since then, I've been looking out. I haven't get the opportunity to coach no other national team. Right. So we could talk a little bit about Miss Martha Godet. That is a pioneer in football in Cayman. Is one of maybe 2 or 3 that had tried but haven't been successful as hard as she took time to educate herself in football management, to dedicate her time to go overseas and participate in different development of female football forum, to take time to participate in all of these female football programs that was provided by FIFA, and still active, very active in the Cayman Islands in a club that have male and female program, and she had prioritized female program, and she's the one that still strong. They are giving these young ladies the opportunity not only to play football, right, but she had find a way to get job opportunities for them. She had find a way to help them in many different ways that you don't see too often. Sometimes, or most of the time, out of her own pocket. So I'm not going to sit down here, and I'm not going to entertain some things that are not real. It's just when you entertain, Miss Sandra, some things that is not real. It's just the way 1 or 2 people feel. A part of being a waste of time, it's going to take away some of your energy and some of your focus and things that are really important in life that need to be addressed and need to be pampered. It's like when you're having a pretty garden, you have a bad weed there that you pick it and you pick it and you pick it and it still come back out. I think it's time to move your pretty flowers or whatever you have there to a different location where they get less bad weed, get more sun, and it remain pretty healthy and nice and good looking. So
All right. Well, thank you so much to both CIFA President Alfredo Whittaker and the captain, Miss Deandra Kelly of the national team. Again, who is it that you guys are playing on Wednesday?
We're playing Grenada today, actually.
You're playing Grenada today, and then there's another match. No, that's it today.
That's it for us.
Last.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I had my little dates mixed up there. So good luck with the match today with Grenada. Where can people watch? Is it going to be online anywhere that people can actually watch?
As far as I'm aware, CIFA has an app. We have a new app, and you can just download it, and just the link will be there. Just click it, and it will stream the game.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so download that, folks, on your phone. Again, I want to congratulate all the young ladies that make up the national squad. No one can really walk in your shoes but you, and you guys obviously know what the journey is like. Yeah.
Apologies. The game
Sorry.
is tomorrow. It is Monday.
Tomorrow.
My bad.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow.
Today
It is
Monday.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Tom-
So it is on Wednesday.
No,
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Sorry,
Oh my gosh.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Wait.
We're completely off with the days here. So today is Monday. The match is on Tuesday. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So thank you very, very much to both of you for coming on the program. And someone sent in a video. They said, Sandy, play this because this is very, very appropriate to your discussion today. So let's have a look at this, folks.
The failure.
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. I'm answering your question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports.
Very, very interesting. So, folks, there you have it. It's, everything is a step that's part of the journey that you have to go through. So keep your chin high, ladies, and good luck with everything. And thank you so much for being willing to come on the program today and speaking with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was great being with you, and thanks for all of the support. And we're looking forward to deliver better results in the upcoming future.
All right. Appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, folks. It's never easy, right? But again, most of us can't really speak because if you've never been in that competitive space, you've never been in their shoes, what we say is just our opinion. And you know what they say about opinions? Everybody's got one. So there you have it. So yes, good luck to them. Continue to strive and to be, as positive as you can be. And good luck with the Grenada match tomorrow. And we'll certainly keep you guys updated on the results of that. And like I said, they actually do. I still can't get on Facebook. I know you guys are on it yourself and you're saying it's fine, but for some reason it's not opening for me on my computer. I don't know what's going on. But if you go and have a look at our CMR TV page, even you'll see somebody was asking about the under 20s. He wasn't really here to talk about all things football. We were specifically going to focus on the Costa Rica game and kind of some of the commentary that has been coming out as a result of that. I think it was Tito. So Tito, you can go and see a lot of what has been featured. Like I said, every single week they're producing this show that has a lot of content and they're talking about the under 20. They're talking about the kids program. They're talking about what's going on during the summer. And, that's the whole reason that they decided to come on board with this football show is because a lot of people simply don't know what everyone has an opinion about what's happening with CIFA, but a lot of people don't know all the details of the different types of programs, what they have available for young people to get involved in. And so that is one way for them to kind of market and put out their information. So do go and check it out. I think you would be pleasantly surprised to see what they have going on. And they do a lot of interviews. I must take my hats off to Kevin Morales, who actually produces that show. All right. Okay. So we have a message here. Somebody's looking for a vehicle. What does this say? I wanted to see if you could reach out to the public because it seems that the police is having issues finding this vehicle. Stolen on Thursday, the owner is Leroy Rodriguez. Stolen from 101 Court Road, Georgetown. Oh. Someone stole a Honda. What a mess. Okay, we will post that up here in just a little bit. And then I'll hopefully it can be found. This person says, good morning. So when and how would they ever get better if they don't play stronger teams? Stupid comment. If you can't challenge yourself, you will never be able for the next level. And yes, I mean, I think, like I said, the best way for you to improve is to do, just practice. Although there's lots of evidence also that talks about the importance of your mental state. Actually, here's something of interest that you guys are probably going to find a little bit maybe weird, but the mind is so incredibly powerful that they've actually showed that the people who get on a court and physically practice, and then there are people who will sit down and basically meditate, and in their meditation mode, they're practicing the shot, like they're visualizing, they're using the power of visualization, right? Where they're seeing themselves make the shot, they're seeing themselves make the goal and whatever. And the difference between the two, like performance-wise, you would be very, very surprised to know that those who meditate do just as well as those who are actually in the field practicing. And I think that just shows you how powerful the brain is as a muscle, and how a lot of us, need to think about that probably when we're trying to achieve all of our goals. Like you got to focus on seeing yourself in a positive light, seeing yourself winning, visualizing where you want your future to be, and then taking the necessary steps and actions to actually getting there as well. Abby is checking on Johan, see if he still has a pulse. I think he's good. We're all good here, folks. So let me give you guys a bit of an update, because some of you were inquiring about the incident last night. Yes, we did put up an AI video. Oh my gosh, some of you focusing more on the video than the actual facts of what was presented. Like, listen, we're going to play around with AI. We're not going to stop. I mean, let's just be honest here, right? We're not going to stop. We're going to find, what works best, what doesn't work, how we can utilize video, because we know that video content is much more engaging and people tend to watch it. Even if it's AI generated, you're going to get more views, right? So some people are like, oh, it's such a serious topic to do AI for. Listen to me. One of these days, in the not too distant future, all of us will be having a conversation where AI, your evening news reports at 6 o'clock or whenever the news comes on, there's going to all be AI people. We're not going to have any more live people doing any of that. So y'all need to just chillax. Seriously. Relax, because that's only a matter of time. That's coming in the very near future. So in the meantime, we are practicing a little bit, and we are getting our skills there. See, Kyle says that AI video was trash, garbage. So what? You still saw it. Hopefully you still understood what was going on. And guess what? The only way for us to get better, kind of on the theme for today, the only way for us to get better is to do what? To keep at it. Keep doing, keep practicing, right? It is a skill. Some people are better at it than others. There's certain types of, there's so many AI tools out there. It's kind of mind-boggling, in fact. And so playing around with what's available, I wish I had more time to learn. That's why I give Mark Solomon props, because Mark spends time playing around with his AI tools. He's doing like these little short, 3-4 minute kind of movies and stuff now. And I actually see AI movie shorts showing up on my Facebook feed all the time. Soon we will have full production AI movies. It is what it is, folks. I don't know what to tell you. It's the world that we live in, and we're certainly not going to be left behind simply because y'all don't like AI at the moment. You'll get there. Now let's get back to the facts of what we know in relation to this incident last night. So this was a very serious incident, actually, where someone is said to have been stabbed in the head, and this is what we found out, is apparently this incident went down. This happened down in Monument Road. And what was so interesting is that there were people who live in the area who are like, oh, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. Is CMR, do they actually know what they're talking about? Because it was kind of quiet down here. They didn't even see the police or the ambulance. Now, I can't remember Monument Road being that long, but okay. I mean, if you didn't see it, thank God for CMR, because now you might want to lock your doors. Last night, after you realized that, yes, there was an individual on the loose who was wanted by the authorities. But this is some sort of a domestic situation. So the aggressor was said early on to still be on the scene. It was in an aggressive state. Armed units, along with Boddentown police, did attend the unit. The ambulance was on standby, awaiting security clearance, especially since the aggressor was still at the scene. The ambulance, as you guys will well know, is not permitted to go in. So eventually what happened was, whilst they were actively looking for the assailant, the injured party had been taken to the hospital for their injuries, and they might have been also arrested due to the fact that they were saying that they were basically going to retaliate. So I guess the police didn't want another incident happening. They couldn't find the one person who's quote unquote the aggressor. The person who was injured was like, let me get out of the hospital because I'm going to go find him. So the police was like, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. So apparently they arrested the injured person because he was going on and on about how he had a score to settle. And there were threats of reprisals and so on. And what we then found out is they are in-laws. What a mix-up. Oh, my God. Y'all going on with your in-laws like this? Like, seriously? Anyway, apparently they were in-laws. There's some kind of family connection between the parties. And I'm being told that, yes, it was the in-laws in the mix. And it was a really, really messy situation. And there is some sort of history with the parties and the Popo police. Hot mess. Were we okay on radio this morning, by the way? I didn't hear any complaints. So it looks like radio is now improving. What a mess. Meanwhile, I'm over here. I'm like, didn't do nothing. Didn't change anything. Don't ask me how. Anyway, the other party then has now been arrested, is what my sources divulged. So they did find the aggressor. They have been arrested. So I guess we're good. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Seems like we're good on radio. All right. So, yeah. So, I mean, we'll hear more, I suppose. The police will probably issue a statement a bit later on today about somebody being arrested. I don't know. I don't know what to say about these situations, but you know, it's not worth what I do know is it's certainly not worth going to jail for. So whatever y'all in-laws are fighting about last night, take my word for it. It is not going to be worth going to jail. Relax, take it easy. Ay, ay, ay. What a hot mess. All righty. So what else have we got making news here this morning? There was a ferocious dog over the weekend that has since been put into custody. I'm assuming, well, the police they were looking for the dog, but they don't exactly arrest dogs. So I'm assuming that DEH has the dog. And chances are, if the dog is ferocious, the dog will probably be put down. I'm going to try to get some more details on that. But it was the police who reached out to the media to say that this dog was wanted, and they provided a picture. It was so interesting, the picture that they provided. The poor little dog already looked like it was in jail, right? But listen, it's not often that the police will actually send out an all points bulletin for dog. And so I could only assume, I saw some of the comments like, oh, you know, leave the dog alone. Some people are like, well, is he vicious to people or other dogs? I'm like, what? Does it matter? Does it really matter who he's vicious to? Because if you've ever had your dog attacked by a vicious dog, trust me when I tell you, in that moment, it really does not matter to you that that's your family pet versus, he's going to bite you. Because sometimes, as it turns out, in these situations, human beings get caught up and get bitten. I mean, we've had that happen. As you guys know, the incident that we had with my poor little dog, Coco. She was not the first dog to be attacked that night. Apparently, the dogs were roaming around freely for a number of hours, and they actually attacked a number of other dogs in the neighborhood, as well as one young lady had to go to the hospital and get a tetanus shot because she was also bitten in the process of trying to break up and save one of the neighbor's dogs. So, yeah, I mean, a ferocious dog is a ferocious dog, and you shouldn't feel safe knowing that there's a ferocious dog out in the neighborhood. Nobody should feel safe, quite frankly. So hats off to the RCIPS, I guess, for getting the details out there. And what we do know is that the dog was put in custody. And I will try to get some more details in terms of what happened to the dog. And, I don't know how much they're going to tell us in terms of why the dog was considered ferocious and why he was being sought. I'm assuming the dog has obviously bitten someone or something, whether it's another dog, and that is why the dog was, all points bulletin was put out for this little dog. What a hot mess. Anyway, they did locate him. So there you go. All right. Further updates. I know last week we were talking about the situation over at CIAA, and I do have some concerns now that have been brought to my attention about what's happening over at CIAA. A number of people have reached out, and so I am doing some additional inquiries into this. But what I can tell you guys is that one thing that we do know, so let me correct. The person who we had said, and the information that we were given is that they were a police officer, apparently not police, but they worked in security. So they had worked in the security field. And I now have proof, other people who've applied for security job have shared email proof that they were never. So they remember in that letter, it said that, this was a requirement that was like, they couldn't, bypass or anything. It was a strict requirement. I now know that that is actually not the truth, because somebody else who was offered a security job, that was not a requirement for them. So it can't be that it's a strict requirement that you can't waive, but yet it's in place for some people and being used as an excuse to not give other people the job. I think what happened here is, for whatever reason, they did not want to give this person the job. And I don't know what that reason is. It might be a legitimate reason. But what they then did is, in the letter, they relied on, your passes. And we know that that's BS. In fact, someone else who worked with CIAA actually said, Sandy, if you FOI, you will see that 90% of the guys who work there in security, and apparently it's like quite a number. I'm going to get all the details, because I didn't know that CIA had that many people, even in security. I thought it was all the other companies, but they have quite a number of people themselves working, doing shifts and whatever. So we'll get all those details, but they said, just do an FOI, because you'll see that this letter is very, very disingenuous, because about 90% of the people in the current jobs do not have those passes. Like I said, you can't just make stuff up. You can't just make up a reason not to hire someone. I think you need to have a legitimate reason as to why you're going to retract and pull back an actual, conditional job offer. And you should be honest when you do it. That's the problem that we're having here. So all indications are that that was not a real reason. Johan says at 9:30, please go ham and all the AI vids makers, people that are confusing all gullible Caymanians like me. Poor you. That's why you're so confused about Abby. You can't figure it out. You're like, is Abby real? Are those pictures really real? Does she really look that good in person? I want to know. Honey, chill. I can't help you. Anyway, we'll dig a little bit deeper into that. Please, when you get a chance, please read this out and you can say it's from me. Oh. Okay. What I want to say too is, oh, it came in late while they're there. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh gosh, we got some more comments that came in late about the national team and stuff. Okay, hold on. Let's read a few of these. Thank you. Ooh, hey child, that one's long. That's like a novel. Okay. Hold on. Let me read it. Let me see if I can get to these. Can't be too ferocious as there's no report of anyone being bitten. Well, just because there's no report that we know about doesn't mean that didn't happen. I'm just saying, a lot of people don't necessarily tell the public if they were bitten by a dog, but does not mean it didn't happen. So I don't know. All right. So this one says, just to address the comment about elite sports club and any supposed bias, if that were really the case, wouldn't you expect to see more elite players on the national team? Take a moment and actually look at the full national team roster, which, by the way, we have the roster. I put it up on the screen. If you want it, just WhatsApp me so you can look at it for yourself. Break it down by club, and you'll quickly see which clubs are contributing the most players. The facts speak for themselves. In my opinion, Elite Sports Club probably has some of the better players on the island, yet they still have fewer players represented on the national team compared to others. Sorry, a little cough there. So before I jump into conclusions about favoritism, it's worth looking at the bigger picture and the actual numbers. Please read this, and you can say it's from me while they're there. My apologies, but they already have left. But that was Miss Mary Stewart making that contribution. Here's another one that's quite lengthy. Woo, and it's shall. We got to read. This is like fine print now. Hold on. Let's read this. Morning, Sandra. I really wanted to comment this morning about the national team, but I want to remain anonymous. No problem, honey Jill. A few years back, I'm trying to get closer to read it. Hold on. My daughter was playing with Elite. She was 13 at the time, but she was advanced in her performance and was also playing with the under 18, I think it was, and the women's. She was the leading by goal scorer across the board in all three leagues and tried out for the national team, attended the training, and at the end of it received a letter stating that she was declined a position. The letter was signed by Mr. Alfredo. I addressed it with her club coach, and she too was surprised. She then raised the issue with Mr. Alfredo, who called me into a meeting to tell me that this was incorrect and he would have never declined my daughter a position. I didn't realize the names on the letter he was only signing. He then advised me the decision was made by Shakina Bush to not offer her position. Is not Bernie Bush's daughter, Shakina Bush? Okay. To not offer her a position because she said my daughter came late to practice and she did not run, she walked in. Okay. Anyway, they said they would correct it, and kudos to them. They did. But I'm saying all this to say that these are the type of politics that happen with the national team that turn all of the young ladies off from the best of them. That turn all the young ladies off from wanting to participate. Cayman does not have the best of the best. Cayman does not have the best of the best on that team. I'm not saying that we will win World Cups with my daughter or any of the other young ladies that choose not to participate, but I will say that we could be doing a lot better than we are if there was not as much favoritism in politics. As of now, my daughter has chosen to no longer participate in the national team because the last time she did, the coach, Mr. Michael, did not play her. He played other girls that came back from college over her. Yet when they put her on the last minute, she scored their only goal. That was in 2023. After that game, she said she didn't feel like she was valued and stepped away from the team. Oh, what a hot mess. Honestly, it's one of the reasons why, I don't know. Obviously I have a daughter now. She's 9 years old, and I'm encouraging her to get involved in sports. It's good to learn how to get along with people or not. I'm not so sure, but it's good at the team. Like it gives them good skills to be like on a team, conflict resolution. Sometimes you're on a team with people that you don't even like, and all these things happen. And I think it's the character building that is really, really important. But my tolerance for lack of tolerance for foolishness, some days I'm just like, oh my God, do I really want her to get involved in a group sport? Or, just encourage her to maybe try something out individually. So she likes to run, and I'm thinking about getting her involved in one of the running clubs. But then again, we've highlighted the national, what are they called again? The Cayman Islands Athletic Association. That's a track one, right? And God knows that I don't know if I got the patience to deal with any kind of foolishness in relation to that. But it's part and parcel, I guess, of kids growing up. And, I don't know, child. But I think I do want to get her involved in track and field. She's not the strongest swimmer, but she does swim and stuff as well. So I don't know. I'm just of two minds about it. Because like I said, it does teach them in life, that you're going to have to be around all sorts of different people. You're going to have to get along with people, sometimes people that you don't even like. And I suppose there's something to be said for that. So, yeah, all right. I don't know. Well, I'll keep y'all posted, but I get it, and when it's your own child, you feel a particular way about it. Everybody wants their children to be given an opportunity to play and to be on teams, and it's not always possible, but I don't know. What a hot mess. I wish she could just play the piano and be like an expert piano player, because then, she doesn't have to be part of any team. But there you have it. But encourage your kids. Yes. Although I have my reservations, encourage your children to get out there and to play sports, to, get involved in activities, become a chess player, be on the chess team. And there's always going to be someone out there who's better than you, who's faster than you, who's whatever. And you just strive to do your best, even on teams. And that's the most that you can really seriously ask. Mary says, just to address the comment about elite sports club and any supposed bias. If that were really the case, wouldn't you expect to see more elite players on the national team? And like I said, we were given the roster because that was one of the criticisms ahead of today's show that we received. And when I looked at the roster, that doesn't really hold water, as Mary rightfully says. She says, take a moment and actually look at the full national team roster, break it down by club, and you'll quickly see which clubs are contributing the most players. The facts speak for themselves, in my opinion. Yeah, so there you have it. Tricia says, for small country, favoritism and nepotism lurk like the cool breeze, almost like a backbone. Parents got to be speaking hard to coaches and have vision for the decades now, and look at that, it's still here. And you know what, Trisha and everybody else listening, parents and kids, I suppose some young people might be listening, it's par for the course. It's how humans operate. So it's not even unique to Caymanians. We're not the only ones who have favoritism and nepotism and all kind of isms. If they exist, you have to work really hard to ensure that they don't. So even that comment about Shakina, people have leanings and they have favoritisms, and, even in job applications, as we can see, there are Caymanians who are not getting job opportunities. And when you ask the question, why? Oh, well, I don't like him, or he got a reputation, or, oh yeah, he got my cousin pregnant and he's not supporting his child. I mean, all kind of BS comes into play, right? And I suppose that is part of the world in which we live. So it's not always as cut and dry as this is just about Caymanians. I think even in the bigger countries, you still see favoritism. You still see someone getting more. You guys sit down and you watch your favorite football teams and American football and NBA and whatever, and you're like, how come he got so much court time when he wasn't even performing? Pull him out of the game. Put this person in. We see it all the time. It happens, and so I think I think that you have to just really, really just keep on top of it would be my advice. And especially when you have children involved, sometimes you have to explain to children that in life, some things are just not, it's not always going to be fair to them. Life isn't fair. And if somebody told you that it was a bed of roses, I should say, and that it was all fair and hunky-dory, somebody lied to you. And it is what it is. Now, y'all are complaining about AI and, the whole don't use AI. Well, look at this one. This one takes the cake as the most ridiculous AI image that I personally have seen in a hot minute. This is worse than any video that I could possibly come up with. This is straight up total bullshit. What the hell is the president of the United States? Kyle, are you still here? Tell me something, honey child. Why is the president of the United States of America? Seriously. Why is this man doing an AI generated image of himself, depicting himself as Jesus, hours after attacking the Pope? What? The man not playing with a full deck of nothing, Honest to God, there is something wrong with him. And low key, does that look like Epstein, who he probably had killed in prison? That he's got his hand over him. He's healing him. What is this? Did chat help him with this? What AI tool did he use? He thinks too much of himself because God knows he is far from being Jesus. I mean, he makes us all want to say Jesus when we see him in his nonsense. But what? Any Trump supporters here that can explain this to us? Because I know y'all have an explanation for everything he does. So perhaps you can help us with this one. And not for nothing, but boy, was he going in on the Pope. Hold on. Let me let's get this one. So yesterday, he made some scathing remarks. He called the Pope Leo weak. And what else did he say? He's not doing a good job of leading the Catholic Church. Well, he's not doing a good job of president either, but hey. He said the US-born leader of the Catholic Church is doing, what did he say? He does not think he's doing a very good job. He's a very liberal person, so he has a problem with that, of course, while also suggesting that he should stop catering to the radical left. He said that Pope Leo is weak on crime. What? And terrible for foreign policy. He sounds like he's describing him as a political opponent. Oh, Obama's weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. It's the Pope. He's not a political figure. But of course, as you guys know, the Pope has been a critic of the Trump administration. He's been a critic of this war in Iran, and he, by extension, has been a critic of both the Israeli government, led by Netanyahu, as well as President Trump, attacking, unprovoked, we should say, Iran. So he's not cut the cheese. Is that the right term I'm looking for? But in other words, he has been very straightforward about what he thinks. And when they were praying for Trump the other day and telling the American people, the Trump administration was telling the American military folks that it is your religious obligation, apparently, that God wants you to go to war and lose your life potentially to support this war. Pope Leo came out and said that's ridiculous, that God does not support aggressors, right? So he's like, no, this aggression towards other nations and people who start wars are not on the side of God. And he referred to a number of passages in the Bible where he said, for example, the Old Testament book of Isaiah, he said, and he quotes, even though you make many prayers, I will not listen. Your hands are full of blood. Saying that sometimes y'all be praying to God, he is not going to answer your prayer because you're in the wrong. So his comments have intensified over the last month plus in relation to the war. And he says that God does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them. Yes, sir. And this is after the U.S. Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, said that he prayed for overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. And Pope Leo was just like, really? Anywho, what a hot mess. It's crazy. But, the White House obviously is not happy with Pope Leo. And he went on to say, if I wasn't in the White House, he's taking credit for this now. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. This is what Trump said, claiming that Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense and stop catering to the radical left and focus on being a great Pope, not a politician. It's hurting him very badly. And more importantly, it's hurting the Catholic Church. I reckon the Catholic Church word. So there you have it. He went on to say that he's a liberal person. He's not doing a very good job. And he likes crime, I guess. That's what he said. Now, in the 2024 election, quite ironically enough, President Trump won 55% of the Catholic vote, according to AP VoteCast, which is an extensive survey of the electorate. But Trump's administration has very close ties to the conservative evangelical Protestant leaders and has claimed heavenly endorsement for the war on Iran. Poor Jesus. Hegseth has urged Americans to pray for victory, quote, in the name of Jesus Christ. When Trump was asked whether he thought God approved of the war, he said, I do, because God is good. Because God is good and God wants to see people taken care of. What? Come again? What does that have to do with the war? I don't know. Y'all remember that that one survey where that one interview where they're like, oh, can you quote, what's your favorite quote of the Bible? The dude Trump could not quote, I bet you he can't even name any Bible books. He could not quote a single verse in the Bible as a man who claims that he's a Christian. I mean, come on, we at least one quote, thou shalt not, something. I mean, most of us know Proverbs, one or two little things that are Proverbs. This man was at a loss when he was put on the spot to quote his faith. He's like, y'all have been hoodwinked. He's the biggest fraudster of all times. Ugh. Andrew says, in life, there's no easy road. Just saying. You got to fight for what you want out of life. Most of the successful athletes, football players who became great have a story of dedication, perseverance, and determination. Shine higher above the rest to be noticed. Tess, good morning, says Trump is sick in his head. El Ray says, according to the Bible, God killed every living person except a handful. And what's your point? So Trump thinks that he's God, and so he's going to do the same thing? Come on now. MAGAs are not Christians. They're Christian nationalists. Big difference. Oh, yes, honey child. They want women to not have the right to vote anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. Y'all are crazy. Miss Sue says, yep, Trump is one sick, wicked person. Horrible. El Ray says, Trump low-key believes the Bible is fake news. Well, I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, look at the life that he's lived. He certainly has not been very Christian-like in anything that he does. What a mess. Anyway, okay, good. So let me say this. All right, so let me just say this as well. What was I going to tell you? Can't remember now. I got to go to, I have an 11 o'clock appointment this morning that I have to go to. Oh, I can't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, wow. Something. The Pope is a political figure because he's sovereign and head of state of the Vatican City. Well, I mean, not for nothing, but the church, especially the Catholic Church, has always been political in nature. So, you know, it is what it is. All right. I think we're going to end there. Thank you guys so much for listening. So I do have a vacation coming up. I should forewarn you all that from the 24th through the 6th, I will be away enjoying some beautiful place in the world, learning something new, trying to be one with nature, disconnecting from a phone, disconnecting from the internet, and all that great stuff. Oh, I know what I was going to tell y'all. Somebody broke Usain Bolt's record for the 200 meter. Yeah. We're going to post that up here in a little bit. I think he's an African, you know. Is he African? Hold on. Somebody. Hold on, let me tell you. Australian. My apologies, but you know he's African. Australian African. He probably looks like he's like from Nigeria or something. But anyway, he has won. He has broken the 20-second barrier. What? Say what? That's amazing. Bolt held on to that record for a while. That was set back in 2004. Speaking of athletes this morning, that's amazing. So congratulations to him. Yes, that's wow, amazing. All right, that's all I got for you today. African Australian adopted. What's his name? Goot? Is that his name? I don't know. Well, which African country is? Oh yeah, that's his name. Gout. Goot. Which his name is Goot. Okay. Oh Lord. Which African country is he from? Is he Nigerian? He's the Australian, the Aussie Bolt, says somebody else. So congratulations to him. This is amazing news. Yes, it is the under 20 record. Yeah, 20 seconds. Yep, 200 meter. Pretty impressive. Well, congratulations to him. And I mean, you know, Bolt held it for a really, really long time. So yeah, quite something. All right, beautiful folks, please have an absolutely amazing and super productive day. I managed to stand the entire show, which means it can still be done. You know, the legs feeling a little bit like, yep, we're gonna do some stretching here, some hip rotations. Yep, work it around, do some hip circles and stuff. But yeah, I have a floor mat for my feet because my feet that's the biggest issue. Standing on the tile floor. I can't walk on the tile floor without shoes. I'm not supposed to do that. So that's why if you come to my house, you see me with a number of indoor slippers that I wear only indoors. I take off my outdoor slippers by the door and I put on my indoor slippers. But anyway, I do have a tension mat here under my foot, and I've been standing on that and still kind of like, I can still feel a little bit sore. So I'll go rub it down with some of the Epsom stuff here in a second. But yes, I do need to have a quick look on Amazon. Get some nice body wash. Ooh, 9% off of my body wash. Okay. We're gonna get some of that. And what else do we need? All right, beautiful folks. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. bright and early at 7:30. Okay, that's it for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.